Okay.
Well, we're back, folks.
Did you miss us?
Welcome to part 2 of Grand Funk Railroad's
right.
incredible discography.
I know you folks are on the edge of your seat.
You were shining on.
That's
and
right.
Then we got shined on.
We got shut down. We were talking about shining on. We got shut down. But we were just pointing out a couple of our favorites off this album, like Shining On. I can listen to that song on a continual loop for an hour and not get tired of it. It's a great tune. Said the Locomotion, I understand how it became a hit and everything. And initially it was all right, but I'm a little bit burned out on it.
It was
Please
written by,
me, it's
it was
good.
written by people that did the Monkees.
What's that?
This is the same two people that wrote Pleasant Valley Sunday.
Oh, okay. That's Carole King and Jerry Goffin.
Jerry Goffin.
Okay. Yeah, Carry Me Through, I like a lot. To Get Back In. I'm not too crazy about Mr. Pretty Boy. Getting Over You, Little Johnny Hooker. Yeah, love it. Love it. Right up there with American Band for me.
This was, here it is, 1974, and prog is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you got to think about this. Capitol's got Grand Funk Railroad, but they've also got Gentle Giant.
Right.
And I'm listening to The Power and the Glory.
Well,
are you a fan of those guys?
I am not as big a prog fan as I know you are. There's a group. Yes, I'm familiar with some of Yes, and there's a group called Flash that had Peter Banks in it. That second album, Flash in the Can, I love that. That's an excellent album.
Yeah, that is good. You gotta love their covers. They got great album covers.
Oh, fantastic. You can't go wrong there.
Especially Out of Our Hands, if you look at really close. Like, what is going on here? Okay, so then I ended up with this too. 30 Years of Grand Funk. You have this?
Yeah, I've got that too.
Okay, so this is 3 discs, and it's just pretty much a overall best of. We could have just went down all these songs and talked about all these songs.
Yeah, they did record 3 new tunes for that, tagged on the bottom there, and I think they're pretty good.
Yeah,
we
gotta get out of this place live. That's right. They did another Animals cover for Grand Funk Lives. Pay Attention to Me, All I Do, and In the Long Run.
In the Long Run is not the Eagles tune, folks, but I love that song. It's more of a ballad, but I do like it quite a little bit.
Yeah, and then my albums are all out of order.
I think the next one they released another live one.
Oh yeah,
this one,
right? Which, like I said, mine are out of order. Cognac. Now there's a problem with this one, isn't there? Didn't they do a clip on something? Didn't they clip something off to make it fit? I thought they did.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought it was I'm Your Captain that they did a kind of a short.
That's kind of a major faux pas. I mean, they spread it across 2 slabs of vinyl.
As far as I'm concerned, they could have left some kind of wonderful off of it.
Yeah, I mean, when they were touring back then, the folks wanted to hear that one as well. So
yeah, and the opener changed from Are You Ready to Foot Stomping Music too.
Yeah, which, as I was telling you before, when I saw them later on in the early 80s, they opened with Foot Stomping Music and had Mark's guitar not plugged in. Yeah, that was interesting. That was
pretty,
because I was so cool I'd seen Mark Farner solo right after the demise of Grand Funk, but I had never seen Grand Funk before then. I was so geared up, and to have that happen in the opening song was a little disheartening, but they made up for it.
Here's a good picture.
Yeah, that concert or that tour, there is a recording of it.
There's a YouTube video of this whole concert.
Yeah.
This is the one where Don Brewer's wearing those
it's like a bongo player in Ricky Ricardo's orchestra.
Congas
rather,
yeah. Babaloo.
Babaloo. And then Mel's got that acid yellow banana outfit he's wearing, playing his bass. Acid banana pantsuit.
Bananas are yellow. And then what came after that
We got All the Girls in the World Beware.
I listened to that today. That's a great album.
It is.
I couldn't believe how good Runnin' and Life are. Those two songs tore my shorts.
Yeah, and it's like they
That
brought in
album rocked.
a new producer. I think is you pronounce it Jimmy Einer.
Jimmy
Einer.
Ianner, yeah.
But anyway,
He produced the live album.
Running sounds like you're combining Grand Funk Railroad with Chicago. Those horns are terrific on
Exactly.
that. Their
I
horns are
know the horn section was just like I said, this sounds like super hot Terry Cap. I was like,
absolutely, yeah. It's that when I first heard that, I said, well, now I know what Grand Funk and Chicago would sound like if they melded forces.
and
Um,
I told a friend of mine who shall remain nameless, uh, I said that the cover didn't do him any favors, but like my best friend Bill, who passed away in 1999, and he always said, "You don't play the cover."
yeah, it certainly got your attention, but
Uh,
it's
what Nega?
when you're getting a
Pumping
lot of
Iron. I think that's where they got the idea for that because that was at about the same time.
yeah, when you're getting bad press, and despite that, they were rolling in it and selling out and everything.
Yeah.
It's either it just we don't give a crap. We think this is funny. We're gonna do this idea for our album cover. I think
Right. Well,
that's what it
the thing
is.
is, the whole album is deep cuts, and the big single is Some Kind of Wonderful, and they left it right at the end of the album. So
Mm-hmm.
if you have that on vinyl and you don't want to hear that, just hit the click button and bring it up.
But also Bad Times on here too, which is a fantastic
Yeah,
single.
I
I
love that
love
song.
that. Not, I mean, Some Kind of Wonderful is okay, but Bad Time, I never tire of that one. I used to laugh my ass off at the lyrics in All the Girls in the World Beware. Just some of those lines are just like talking about your underwear and everything. Attaboy, Mark. But about the only one that I don't like on here is, and it's just an old soul song. Look at Granny Run Run. It's a fun song, and I'm sure that's you know part of their history going back to Terry Knight and the Pack. They'd always do these soul songs from back in the day, and they'd
Well,
reel them
look
just
at
like
Jan and Dean.
some kind of
Look at Jan
wonderful.
and Dean. Jan and Dean's the little old lady from Pasadena. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's just
people did that stuff. You know,
yeah, they just
novelty songs were always going to work,
no.
sort of.
And when you're in a band, as a musician and everything, especially if you're keying in on kind of one genre over and over, you got to have variety or you get bored. And
Yeah,
they took some different paths and everything, and hats off to them.
yeah.
But yeah, this I enjoyed this one as well. This is very pop. Certainly if you put the Red album on and played this one, you could just see a world of difference, in the approach with the band and everything, but still a very enjoyable album. I like it a lot.
I believe the cover and the title is what turned me off against buying that for
Oh,
so many
really?
years. And when I finally got it, I probably didn't even listen to it because I overwhelmed myself like that. But
Mm-hmm.
I was checking them out on Amazon today, and oh my God, I couldn't believe those first two cuts. They were incredible. There was another one on there that was really good too.
There's something it's like really dark. It's the one called Good and Evil, and
Oh,
they
that
just
was
do it.
real weird.
They do
Yeah,
something
that
to
was
the
real
voice,
weird.
the vocals. Yeah.
Blind Melon Brewer.
And that's a great thing. Grand Funk had, and it wasn't really brought out until Rundgren produced them. About Don Brewer is a tremendous lead singer. I prefer Farner, but they're to have two guys in a band that can sing like that.
But think about it. He's singing. I said the wrong thing. He was singing "Are You Ready?" and that was the first song that they
Oh,
ever
that's
put
right.
out there.
That's right. That's right. That's
I
right.
mean, there's harmony with Mark Farner, but when he goes, "You can trust me all the way," that's Don.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so then we move on to "Born to Die."
Born to Die. Yeah.
I always hated that cover.
Yeah, the I read an article and the band said that it was more than a little creepy to be in those coffins and for that photo shoot. And I would imagine so.
I'll bet, yeah.
Yeah, these last two albums, just we talked about their album covers and how clever and inspired they were and everything. They really took some chances because these last two were very hit or miss.
And they're
You
still
know,
signed to Capitol, right?
yeah, they're still with Capitol. Very hit or miss. I mean, like you said, that previous album cover turned a lot of people off. They're not going to want to walk up to the counter and pay for that. You know what I mean? It just, that
Yeah.
never bothered me, but I know with a lot of people, it's just like, I just can't get past this image. But Born to Die is another one. It was very pop centric. Um, Born to Die.
Born to Die is an interesting song because I was listening to it very closely, and the rhythm in that song is 17/4.
Highly unusual.
They do a measure of 8, and then a measure of 9, and then a measure of 8, and then a measure of 9, and they just keep
Mm-hmm.
doing that over and over and over. So I would have to count that as 17/4.
Mm-hmm.
They add an extra beat in there, and it's just to get the lyric. Probably they just had to
So
find a place to put the word, and that's all you do is you just
that's all
change
you can
it.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Um,
pretty cool. It
yeah.
sounds weird when you listen to it. You'll hear it. It's just like it's not changing
There's
in the
like
right
there's like a
place.
hesitation at one point where
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
expecting something and you're not getting it.
Well, like Foreigner Head Games does the same thing. They go first time they go Head Games, and then the next time it's Head Games.
Mm-hmm.
And the Beatles did that too on "Don't Pass Me By." Ringo's singing that song,
Yeah.
and every time he goes "Don't pass me by," and then the last time he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, "Don't
Don't
pass me
pass
by,"
me.
and you're going, "What?"
You're waiting. You're waiting.
We're the Beatles. Get over it.
Yeah. But this one and another one, very pop centric, Born to Die dudes. I think Sally was a single. Now it didn't do very well, but
Probably didn't do very good at all.
no.
But I heard a tune on there that I liked a lot. Let me see if I can find it again. Let's see, where is it?
Love is Dying is one that I really like. And then there's the instrumental Guinevere.
Oh, Genevieve. Oh my God.
Genevieve. Boop a doop
Yeah,
boop
that was
boop boop
really
boop
good.
boop a doop boop
But
boop boop
Dues,
boop.
I like Dues a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And I Fell for Your Love was okay. Talk to the People's okay. Take Me, I believe, was a single because I've heard that on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Politician was a pretty cool song. Love is Dying was okay. Good Things. I just got done hearing that, and then we got on.
Yeah. It didn't
I was.
leave, it's never been one of my favorites, but
I
it's
think.
the
I
10th
think.
song on the album. So
I think Genevieve is the longest instrumental they ever did. It's over 7 minutes long,
mm-hmm.
and that's a
Yeah,
killer.
it percolates. That beginning just goes boop, 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 boop,
Excuse me,
boop,
it's not
boop.
over 7 minutes long. It's 6:12.
You know, close enough.
Close
But
enough.
it's like a percolator. Boop, 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 boop. Then that organ in the background,
Yeah,
it comes a little by little, and then it
yeah.
comes to that explosion of drums. Then, then,
It,
then, 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 then.
it's very surprising for this band to be so. I mean, this really is funky.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. There's
This is
always
fun.
been the soul element, and I
I
contend
always
even
thought
in a
you could have the Temptations in the background. It would have been
yeah.
incredible.
I've always contended that even in a lot of the hard rock stuff, there is a strong, strong soul funk element to Grand Funk. I hear it now.
Do
Other
you
people, if you
on that Born to Die? Excuse me. Do you have 2 extra cuts?
I've got Bare Naked Woman, and then they have a live rehearsal of Guinevere.
Yeah, I didn't play those. I heard the first verse of Bare Naked Woman, and I had to get off, and I'm going, ooh,
Yeah, there's a
cringy,
reason why that didn't make the cut.
cringy.
Yeah. And Guinevere, the live rehearsal, a lot of it is just they're just saying stuff while they're recording the instrumental, like
Not as
just
good. Okay,
no, they're
okay.
just playing around. I think it's just so that they can get their bearing straight
But
when they go to
who
truly
produced
record it.
Born to Die? Was it Jimmy Ianner again?
I think it was. It's not on the back here. Let me see. Yeah, Jimmy's he's produced this one as well.
Okay.
And
Okay,
speaking of
so
producers, how about the
out
next
with
one?
him. Guess who comes in?
Yeah.
Francis Vincent Zappa.
Isn't it astounding to you the amount of crap this band took? And they had Todd Rundgren and Frank Zappa both producing They must have heard something. Must
And
be
you know what?
something good about this band.
There he is right there. Do you know what the quote of this of him about this band and why he did it? He
Why?
said, "'Cause they were a great band making great music, but it never sounded right."
Mm-hmm.
That's
He
why
didn't even like the
he said
production of
that's
Rundgren.
why I got involved. And this is where they lose the contract with Capitol, and MCA picks them up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
MCA used to be ABC Dunhill, but I
Oh,
think
I
by
didn't know
then,
that.
but
I
I
didn't
think
know
by
that.
1976 it was MCA because there's a Leonard Skinner song called "Working
Good
for
for
MCA."
MCA.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
What the?
this is on Hippo Records.
Oh, you get, yeah, Hippo. That's the logo on mine too.
Yeah,
Universal
Hippo,
Music Company.
right? And it says 1976 MCA Records.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is a cool album. I mean, they didn't screw around here. They just got to rocking, and they let Frank play a guitar solo on "Out to Get You," which is
Isn't
just
it searing? Just a
off
searing
the chart.
lead. Yeah.
That guy, and then Farner does one later. He
Yeah.
goes, "Well, thanks, Frank. I'll play one too."
Yeah.
"Out to get
That's, yeah.
you."
That is a great instrumental as well. I
And
love that one.
and also we got to talk about "Don't Let Him Take Your Gun."
Yeah. I mean, how apropos,
Here it
folks.
is, 1976, the bicentennial, and they're already talking about Mark Farner's already talking about his father told him that if you wanted to keep your freedom, you had to have a way to protect it.
Yeah, the last 3 years have been really rough, but could you imagine if we were in the state of Australia, New
Well, we have to
Zealand,
be
and
we have to be
Canada?
careful what we say here because of YouTube.
Okay, sorry, folks, just ignore that. But what the band
Because I don't
said
know how to
about
edit.
yeah, what the band said that everyone was saying, "Oh, Frank Zappa, he's really out there, isn't he?" And blah, blah. They said all Frank Zappa did while he was recording us was drink thermos after thermos of coffee. They said they had never seen a human being consume as much coffee as Frank Zappa. He would just like
Yeah, and
one
cigarettes.
down, and now here comes another.
Well, moving a little bit along here. Uh, the band sort of just tanks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason Mark Farner said because we weren't going to do disco, and everybody kept saying if you want to make it now, you have to go with the times, and the times are disco. You must play disco
Mm-hmm.
or new wave or punk, but any kind of like hard rock or prog is out the window. Just forget that. It's becoming disco territory. And they
Mm-hmm.
said, listen, we would rather just stop.
Right.
So they stopped after this album, Good Singing, Good Playing, from 1976 to 1981.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 5 years. And the first time they come back, I don't have my prop. You'll have to help me with this.
Okay. There we go.
First time they come back is the heavy metal soundtrack.
Oh, I got
Why
that
do
in
you
the
have that
vinyl
with
arc.
you?
I got it in the vinyl archives, but I didn't pull that one out.
Oh, don't worry about it. You were fine with the Grand Funk Lips. I saw that in the rack, and I went, "What?"
Yeah.
I
What did they
grabbed it
pull?
immediately. I grabbed
Yeah.
it immediately, and I saw that
Queen
that
Bee.
they had a different bass player.
Yeah, it was there. He was
Mel's
part
gone.
of, yeah, he was part of their road crew for many, many years, Dennis Bellinger.
Dennis
And he
Bellinger.
took over on
Yeah.
bass. And like I said, with the heavy metal soundtrack, they had the
Yeah,
Queen Bee
yeah,
single
exactly.
in there. And
I went
then,
I went to the theater and saw heavy metal, and I kept seeing that Grand Funk Railroad was going to be one of the bands, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and then I heard Queen Bee, and I went, "Oh my God, this is it!
yeah,
This is great! This is one of the greatest songs they ever did." I love Queen Bee. I mean, I really love that
yeah,
song.
it was a great comeback for him.
It
And
was.
I'm looking at my
And then
Grand Funk.
they did that bass line from the Animals. We got to get out of this place, and I'm going, "This is pretty cool. I like
Right.
that version."
Yeah, this album, this is the original copy I had from 81. Got it for $6.59 at Buzzard's Nest Records in Columbus, Ohio.
Is that a gatefold?
No, I've
Oh
got
yeah,
it in
yeah. It never came out in the gatefold. I know I've got that record. It's probably in my closet behind some stuff I can't get to.
Hmm.
But I know I've got that, and I know I've got What's Funk. I didn't get rid of those.
Yeah, I this album has a lot of good tracks on it.
The cover's weird. Show the cover. They're being on the
Oh,
back.
wait a minute.
They're being all
They're being
graffiti
all rowdy teens,
with
but
spray
they're not
gun, spray,
teens.
spray paint. They got the spray paint in their hands, right?
Yeah,
You're gonna go out there and supposedly they wrote Grand Funk Lives on the wall.
right. And they're
So what
fleeing
company?
the
What
scene of
company?
the crime.
Full Moon, right? Is that the?
Yeah, Full Moon Records. Yeah.
Who are they?
I don't know what subsidiary. They're a subsidiary of Warner Brothers.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, Queen Bee's on here. I like Testify. I like No Reason Why, and then of course the Animals cover. We got to get out of this place. YOU. Stuck in the Middle is good
Oh
too.
yeah, YOU. I think was maybe a hit a little bit, or they tried to.
Hmm. They tried to push that as a single.
Yeah,
Um,
but I
but
don't know
this,
how they lost their contract with Capitol. It must have been that they refused to sell out.
well, the thing is, of the music that was on the horizon, I don't see Grand Funk being able to transition into punk. I don't see him transitioning
Yeah,
into
I don't
new
either.
wave, but I
No,
I could see them do disco, but it's not going to be the mind numbing over and over and over repetitive thing. But I could see them producing dance type music.
yeah,
But I
but
mean, they
but
just didn't. They just didn't want to do it. I mean,
yeah, they just yeah. I
the
mean, I
Stones
can
did it.
understand that though.
Yeah, the Stones did it. So many bands, got on the disco bandwagon.
I mean,
Not all their content.
they
But
could live on "We're an American Band" for the rest of their
yeah,
lives.
there was really no financial reason that they felt like they were behind the eight ball
Yeah,
that they had to record stuff that their heart wasn't in it. So,
right. So
but
after that, uh, did they change record companies again and put out What's Funk?
well, they were still on Full Moon, and then
Okay.
we've got
A beautiful lady with jumper
beautiful
jeans.
lady who we can't see her the
And
top
the
of her
Washington
head.
D.C., the Washington Monument
Monument,
behind it.
yeah,
What is
symbolism.
that cover trying to tell us?
Hmm. Hmm. They could have had a train going through a tunnel. That's the only thing this
What's
cover's
with the
missing.
jumper cables?
I don't know. I don't know.
Can we restart his heart? Isn't there a line in one of the Cheech and Chong movies like that? He
I
says,
don't
"Oh yeah, he
know.
took too much coke, but we can restart his heart later."
Yeah.
And they're snorting bold uh, Washington Blue Cheer. That's what.
Blue cheer. Ah, yes.
Yeah, we're just losing it here. So, are there any hit singles on that one? Anything stand out?
Um, if memory serves correct, I think they tried Rock and Roll American Style as a single, and it tanked. I may have heard it on the radio once, but
What year
they do
did
a
this come
cover
out?
of, huh?
What year did this come out?
I think this is 83. Let me check.
83.
Yeah,
So the
83.
same year as Yes 90125. Same year as Genesis self-titled.
Mm-hmm. The
Oh
musical
my God.
landscape's changing, and
Yeah.
like I
Is
said, I
there a
think they
song on
tried
there?
something with, like combining rock and roll soul with We're an American Band with rock and roll American style, and it just didn't do
Is there
anything.
a song on there called Life in Outer Space?
Yeah, it's the last track.
Do you like that tune?
It's okay. It's a little spacey. It reminds me of something they might have recorded during the Rundgren years.
Are they trying to do 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 do?
I I think they're trying to throw a lot of things at the wall and see what's going to stick based on their past and what was successful there. Like they do a cover of Nowhere to Run, which they always did those soul covers and everything. Borderline is a pretty good song. Elvis El Salvador rock's pretty good. Um, the rest of the stuff it just like fell very flat for
Now, is
me.
this the same band that's on Grand Funk Lives with Dennis
Yeah, the
Bell
Dennis Bellinger on
and
bass.
John Brewer?
Yeah,
Does John Brewer do a lot of lead vocals, or is it mostly Mark Forner?
as I remember right, he's got some lead vocals here. I
I just
can't
I can't remember.
off the top of my head because I did not listen to this before we
Yeah,
hooked up and
I didn't either.
recorded.
I ran out of time.
Yeah, it's an extensive catalog. It really is.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So
this
so
is when me as a Grand Funk fan realized, it's pretty much over because
yeah.
I've always loved the vast majority of every album they released, and this one I could pull two or three songs off here, and that's all I need.
Well,
And even those two or three aren't that great.
the three of them had a magic, and even with Craig Frost, the four of them had a
Yeah,
magic that this Dennis Bellinger guy, as much as he tried, it just doesn't.
he's
It just doesn't
serviceable.
have the same feeling.
Is serviceable, but it's
Yeah,
not the same as the three that worked
exactly.
so many years together and just they read each other's mind as
Right.
band. And that's the damn shame about where we stand right now with Grand Funk Railroad. Boy, did I can't believe
Well, hang on
John
a
and
second.
Mel screwed Mark
Hang
the
on a
way they
second
did.
before you
Okay.
go into that.
Okay.
14 years go by with doing nothing. Mark Farner does a solo career, and I bought one of the DVDs that he did. It's pretty cool. I'm glad I got it. But then in 1997, for some reason, they got to the point where they wanted to come back and do a live tour and
Mm-hmm.
concert Bosnia,
Bosnia. Yeah.
and this is really good. This
It's
is the reunion.
tremendous.
This
And
is
they've
the reunion. I saw this band in Santa Clara, California, at the Santa Clara Fair for
oh
$7.
wow. That's unbelievable.
Got to watch Mark Farner, and I mean, like I'm in heaven. I'm in absolute heaven. And there he is with his Parker Fly. That's what he was playing.
Mm-hmm.
And he said the reason he had to get that guitar was because he couldn't have a heavy one because it
Yeah, and
hurt his back.
he's gone to even a lighter model these days.
And Nightfly, Parker Nightfly, he still does the Parker, I think.
Yeah, it's even a lighter model though that he's
So
playing
anyway,
these days.
this is Grand Funk Railroad on tour with an orchestra.
Yeah, and you know who was conducting everything for that album was Paul Schaefer from
Oh
David
yeah.
Letterman's show.
Oh okay.
But
Oh, we call him Artie Fufkin, sir.
Artie Fufkin, I
Kick
can
my
see
ass.
that.
Kick my ass. Please kick my ass.
But yeah, that's another great live album with the full orchestra and everything. It just
Yeah.
adds another dimension
And
to
then
it.
Mark goes, we'd like to bring up a guy who plays a pretty mean guitar, Mr. Peter Frampton. There he is,
Mhm.
right there he is right there on the top.
Yep,
Right there with the
right
Les
there.
Paul.
Right there. Did you know that when they were toying with the idea of going to a four-piece, one of the people that they considered bringing in was Frampton because they played a lot of shows with Humble Pie back in the day.
Uh-huh.
And Peter he was solo. They had considered adding Peter Frampton to the mix rather than Craig Frost. They probably made the right decision because that freed up them to do a lot of things with a keyboard as a permanent part of the band. Unless you put Frampton at guitar and just had Mark on keyboards, but I don't think that would have worked well.
Yeah.
You gotta
So
let Mark
yeah,
roam.
my last page was stuck together. I actually pulled it apart. Oh, we got another 10 minutes. Whoopee.
I
For
I
those
saw
that you don't know, for those that don't know, if you want to do a free Zoom meeting like this, you only get 40 minutes at a time. So that's why it's a two-parter.
sorry, don't dilly dally. Get right to
We'll
the meat
probably
of the
make it.
matter.
We'll probably make it. And then the last thing I'll bring up for my prop is this. Do you have this?
No, I don't need. I've never seen that before. What is that?
This is called Grand Funk Railroad Greatest Hits, and it comes with a DVD.
Oh,
It's Grand Funk Railroad DVD, and you get on this, and on the DVD you get We're an American Band original promo film, Inside Looking Out live on PBS, the show,
mm-hmm.
WITF TV, Hershey, Pennsylvania, November 1969. Some Kind of Wonderful live at the Palace, Auburn Hills, Michigan, 4/20/97. We're an American Band, same place, 4/20/97. And I'm Your Captain live at Shea Stadium July 9th, 1971. Get this.
Okay, I've seen the first two that you mentioned in the last one,
Do
and
what you have to do.
that inside looking out video has been turning on younger people to Grand Funk Railroad like
Right,
you can't believe. It's like,
right.
why in the hell is this band not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? They're like stunned, and then you
They
get to that point where Farner brings out the harmonica, and they're like, what can't
there
this guy
there
do?
there's video of them doing that on Playboy After Dark.
Oh yeah, I've seen that as well. Yep.
So you get 14 cuts, right? We're
Hmm.
an American Band, Time Machine, Walk Like a Man, Some Kind of Wonderful, Shining On, Heartbreaker, Rock and Roll Soul, The Locomotion, Foot Stomping Music, Mean Mistreater, Live, Take Me, Bad Time, I'm Your Captain, Inside Looking Out. So everything except for Mean Mistreater is already out there. This is just a best of.
Hmm.
Or greatest hits, they said. But I got it because of the DVD, because you can't get it anywhere else.
Oh
It's not a
yeah,
standalone.
I've also seen that Shea Stadium footage, like I was mentioning before. That's astounding.
Well,
Just the
if you
vibe
really want
there.
to see him, if you really want to see him, and I know the video's not that good, but I've seen it on YouTube. Anybody out there that wants to check this band out, go to YouTube and look at, and that's not all of them, because I was missing how many that Daryll saved my butt for.
Three or four, I think. But there's also on YouTube the time they were on Don Kirshner's rock concert.
Oh,
Now the
really?
recording of that is awful, but
Most of
you
them
get a
are.
good idea of Grand Funk circa right before Phoenix or right at the
Right.
time of Phoenix. But it's a live concert. It's a little wonky, the visuals, but you get a very good idea of the band at that time live.
Now, you
Uh,
really want to get into that situation why Mark Farner is no longer in the band? You got about 7 minutes.
okay, we could do that. And I could tell you about. I saw Mark Farner in concert 2 years ago in Decatur, Illinois, at an outdoor venue in the spring. It was cold as hell outside. And Mark Farner was a special guest of Jim Paterick and the Ides of March. And Jim Paterick was also in Survivor, and he wrote
Yeah,
Eye of the Tiger. That guy's phenomenal. But anyway,
yeah.
it was the Ides of March with Jim Paterick and special guest Mark Farner, and he
Oh, I
still
always
got it.
liked Vehicle. I thought Vehicle was a great
Oh
song.
yeah, it was a great night. It was cold as hell, but they were troopers. I mean, they had to be freezing too. But
Oh, real quick, I just wanted to say something. I got to interrupt.
mhm.
This is on Capitol.
Oh, okay,
So somehow
interesting.
they got him back into the fold in 2006. I don't know how they did that.
Well, I mean, probably the latter part of their catalog, they probably got the rights for those for a song, so to speak, because the bulk is with Capitol. They just probably had to secure a couple other songs that were recorded on other labels to complete the set list on that. But I'd never seen that before. I have to go hunting.
Yeah, yeah, got to get it. It's so worth it. The DVD itself is
Mm-hmm.
priceless.
Yeah. The thing about Mark with Mel and Don is just, it's a shame because no one's getting any younger. All three of
Right.
them are still alive. All three of them can still play.
Definitely
Like I said,
Waters Gilmore.
I saw Farner a couple years ago. The guy hadn't missed a beat. I mean,
It's
you
like
don't have
Waters
the hair
Gilmore,
down to
right?
here, and he's not running around with no shirt on. But other than that, he's in great voice,
Yeah.
great guitar playing. The three of them are still healthy and able to do it. I just wish they'd come to their senses.
He
Not on
says
Mark's
that
part.
he says that he'll come back anytime, that he
Yeah.
is holding no grudges at
And,
all.
and
And
he's
I
the
don't
one
want
that
to
got
get into all the
screwed.
business. I don't want to get into all the business of it and
Yeah.
everything. But let's just say when Mark left, I left.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's all I'll say.
I have seen the band without Mark, and it is not Grand Funk Railroad. It is not. They've brought in the guy from 38 Special who looks like they took a 5'6" Mark Farner and stretched him out to 6'2" because he does have similar features to Mark Farner. But he ain't Mark Farner.
No, there's only
uh,
one Mark Farner.
yeah, it just the
Not the
band is
greatest guitar player ever. He is an awesome singer. I
yeah,
think he's a better singer than a guitarist. But I loved his guitar
yeah.
because I was learning how to play. I'd only been playing 2 or 3 years, and I wanted to
Hmm.
learn how to play lead guitar, and most everything was just too complex and fast for me. I couldn't figure it out. And then when I could listen to things like Inside Looking Out, I could figure it out. I mean,
Is
it
the
wasn't that
perfect
hard.
it's the perfect primer for when you're learning to
Yeah.
play lead.
There were
And
2
Mark,
guys that taught me the most actually at that time was Mark Farner and Tony Iommi. I learned
oh,
how to
okay,
play like Black Sabbath riffs.
right,
They were
right,
easy, which
right.
is Master of
Agreed.
Reality is my favorite Black Sabbath.
Your path with guitar playing is very similar to mine because yeah, Master of Reality is just a riff fest. And
Oh,
when
yeah.
you're learning, you can you can find where everything is on the neck and
Yeah.
master that, so to speak. But Mark Farner was the right guitar player for that band and how they
Yeah.
presented themselves. You didn't
Exactly.
need somebody who was really fancy. It was just energetic, powerful, uh, riffy, right in the pocket with his playing, and
And
the
that
perfect
guitar he
front
had
man.
was that messenger guitar he had was so weird. I mean,
Yeah.
it just screamed. He had a built-in fuzz box on the thing. Came
Hmm.
that way. It came that way. And he used to have real problems with feedback. So he took a bunch of foam and stuck it into the F holes to make to so it wouldn't feed back.
There you go. And didn't he play a flying V at one point around Shining On? I think he did.
I know his guitars. He had like a microfret messenger that not a messenger, but a microfret guitar was it looked really weird. It was like red and white. And
Hmm.
then he played a Gibson L5, which looked a lot like a Les Paul. I've actually played one of those in a band that I was in with
Hmm.
Andy Robertson.
Oh.
and and that wasn't my guitar. I was borrowing it. And those are
Hmm.
really expensive. They're just out the window in
Right.
thousands of dollars. And then he had a oh god, what was the name of that stupid guitar? It was all aluminum. The whole guitar was aluminum. Uh,
That's the one I'm thinking of, and I thought it was in
yeah,
the
I
shape
can't.
of a V. Because I
It's a
remember some Cream
it's a
magazine or
weird
something
looking.
had a
Yeah, it's
picture
not a
of him
flying.
playing it.
Yeah, it's not a flying V. It's a split. I don't think we have much time, but I was going to try to get on the internet. I could put it through my TV. I might be able to look it up real quick and find out what that was if I can get on
You
time.
have 1 minute, 7 seconds.
Is that what it said?
Yeah.
Jesus, really?
Maybe we should just wrap it up. We got less than a minute right now.
Yeah, I just do. I did want to find out what the name of that guitar was, though. It's I'm not gonna be able to make it. I'm in the wrong thing. But yeah, it's I know what you mean. It was a really strange guitar. I thought it was called something like Valette Citron, but I can't.
Mm.
That doesn't make sense. But yeah, it had this really weird spiky thing on the end of the neck,
And it was
and the
metallic
whole entire
looking.
guitar was metal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Metal neck, metal guitar, shined like you couldn't
Very
believe.
unusual. Very
Very
unusual looking.
unusual. Had a
Yeah.
tone that was insane, and you can
Mm.
see it. He uses it in that Caught in the Act concert
The
that's on
vid,
you.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's where I should have looked it up, was on YouTube, but I didn't have time. So
Right.
we're gonna get. How much time do we have?
We probably got